Right, right.
I'm never amazed at how often I use Newton's laws of motion
Well, it's
to describe
everywhere.
psychology.
Yeah, yeah. Because everything is pretty much a dichotomy, believe it or not. Everything, there's, everything we've talked about today. There's something up here. There's something down here, and then you turn it on its head, and it's like this, and it's like this. That it's everywhere we look. It's the yin yang symbol. It's the dichotomy of things. It's Newton's law. It's all of
The
those things are
duality
really
of
the same.
man. It's the
Duality.
duality of man.
Yeah. Everything is really that. It's telling you that.
Well, that's what I'm really interested now. Again, Peterson with the religious aspect. I'm really interested in how he's talking that we don't know what consciousness is. Right? They have no idea. They have no
Right.
concept of what consciousness is, and
Right.
it seems to be, and it makes sense because and he's talking about in the idea of God, right? That God is can have everything. There are no limits to God, right?
Right. Right.
And what consciousness is specifically it's limitation. It's knowing your limitations. That's what consciousness is, having limitations and knowing what they are.
Right.
But you can't have that if you're an omnipotent being that's out there everywhere. Like if you're a free flowing spirit, you can't have that because you really have no limitations.
Right. Right.
You need body in order to have consciousness. You have to be physically attached to something in order and not free floating in order to have those limitations.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
order to
Yeah.
have consciousness. And
Yeah.
like things like religions, things like the Bible is your map that comes strictly from your consciousness. I mean, where
Yeah.
the thoughts come from. Nobody
Yeah.
knows. Universal mind, right? What the fuck is universal mind? It's the free floating spirits in the world that you have no
It's,
idea what they are.
exactly. There's the tangible and the intangible.
And
You know.
specifically, like it's all like none of it actually exists except
Yeah.
for through consciousness. You need consciousness to perceive any of it.
Right.
But what
Right.
is it? Nobody knows.
Right.
I was bringing it back to like tripping acid. I was telling my wife about tripping acid.
Mm-hmm.
And she's we were having this conversation. It's like at the beginning, you're waiting for it to kick in. You're waiting for a long time for it to kick in. And it doesn't, it takes forever. You're like, and then it finally hits you. You're like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Whoa. And it takes you a while to get like things start shifting on you. Like your perception of the room changes. You go to a different environment. You walk out of the room, you go into a different environment, and it's a completely different situation, a completely different feel.
Right.
And you're like, whoa, what's
Right.
this? And you got to get used to it.
Right. Right.
And then you try to do simple things that you normally would always do, and you can't do them because things are kind of off kilter. They're kind of like, it's not working for you the way you want. You get frustrated, and you can have a bad trip, and you have a bad trip, and just horrible. Some people don't even recover from that.
Right. Right. Right.
But then you hit a point where you're like, all the secrets of the universe, where you're like totally relaxed, and all of everything there is to know. And then you forget it as you start sobering up and you start coming down, right?
Right.
But
Right.
by the
Right.
time you're done, by the time you're out of it and it's all worn off, you're tired. And your
Yeah.
teeth are grinding, you have a headache,
Yeah.
you're kind of and you feel like you want to sleep for 3 days. And you do, basically. One night
Yeah.
you're tripping for the next 3 days, you don't do shit.
Right.
You're done.
Right. Right.
You're done.
Right. Right.
What is life? In the beginning, you're a kid. You don't know what's going on. You're waiting for something to happen. You are rushing through your life. I feel like you're fucking forever. God, when is this going to happen? And then life happens. And at first, it's great. It's, whoa, what is this? But then it starts you start moving into one stage after another, one place after another, and you don't know what the fuck it is. It's a completely vibe. You have to get used to it again.
Right.
And then you hit a point where, maybe, okay, you're relaxed and you understand everything that's going on. And if, okay, it feels good. But then you forget everything that you knew.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
you start getting to the end of it and it starts hurting and you have a headache and you're tired and you've had enough and you just want to go to bed. Life is one real long fucking acid trip.
Right. 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 Wow. That's amazing. It's interesting because like, when you're a kid and they used to tell you like, they used to give you a number and they say, okay, divide it by 0, right? They used to say like, what's 1 divided by 0? And then the common answer would be, oh, it's 0. That's actually not true. That's it. It's actually the answer is really undefined.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's infinity.
Yeah, right. Because I mean, think about that in life. I mean, that's the one thing that math does not know. Think about that. There's so many other things that math can quantify. Math doesn't know the answer to that question. Math doesn't even know how to ask the question. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how crazy whatever that is. That's how like it's so unfathomable with this whatever that is, that it can't even figure out the right question to ask in order to answer. You know, so the one being the unit of measure that we use to find all things, right? So one being the thing, and zero being no thing, the nothing, and there's no way to quantify that and figure it out. So I mean, that's how incredible the universe, the multiverse, whatever the hell you want to call this thing, that's how incredible that is that we can't even find the right question so that we can answer it. So
That's crazy.
yeah.